Hello, welcome to Rachaelmakes. I'm Rachel and today we're going to make a vegan chocolate cake. I made this cake the other day because my daughter had some friends over and one of them was intolerant to anything dairy, so I thought, well, I've got to make her something, so I made this and actually they all really loved it. So this is why I'm showing you. Okay, so this is what you need. Okay, we need 215 grams of self-raising flour, 175 grams of caster sugar, half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, 40 grams of cocoa, so you can tell it's going to be really chocolatey because there's lots of cocoa in there, 150 mils of lemon juice, which is then made up to 350 mils of liquid with cold water. Okay, so there's quite a lot of liquid in it. 150 mils of oil, just whatever vegetable oil you like to use, obviously not olive oil because that might have too strong a flavour, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Now the oven is preset to 180 degrees and I've got a tin here which I've lined with foil and I've greased it really well with oil. You can use whatever tin you like. Okay, so what we do first of all is sieve all of the dry ingredients together, okay, into a bowl. I'm not a great advocate of sieving normally. I find it a bit of a waste of time. I think it's really boring. Also, I think that people mainly used to sieve flour just to get the bugs out. So I think it's a kind of a bit of a myth about having to sieve stuff all the time. I'm sure loads of people will be horrified at me saying that. But I make loads of cakes without sieving the flour and they turn out beautifully. The cocoa does benefit from being sieved because it's got lumps in. But the reason why this needs sieving is because this recipe is so simple. All we're going to do is sieve the dry ingredients together, add the liquid, mix it together quickly and pop it in the oven. And I have made this before without sieving and there were, I have to say, lumps of flour in there. Not big ones, but all the same, not the most pleasant. Okay, so that's all been sieved in there now. So we're just going to really quickly add the liquid. Of vanilla, so it says a teaspoon, so yeah, I think that's about a teaspoon. You don't have to put the vanilla in if you don't want to. Oh, I forgot to put the bicarb in there, you know, about that. So give this a mix together. Now there does seem to be a lot of lemon juice. You can substitute other things in this cake, but don't leave the lemon juice out because the lemon juice actually makes the cake rise. It's the acidity apparently causes a chemical reaction which makes it rise. You can see this is quite sloppy, this mixture. That's fine. This is how it's supposed to be. And in fact, it's starting to kind of rise in the bowl as we speak. So it's a cake with a lot of oomph. You'll notice as soon as you put it in the oven, it starts to look like chocolate cake. Okay, so that's all mixed together. We're going to pop this into our tin. Get all of this out so we don't waste any. If you wanted to, you could do this in little individual ones to make buns or cupcakes, as people call them now. Do you know what? Years ago it always used to be little buns. Now it's always cupcakes all the time. Oops. There we are. I'm doing this with gusto. You can tell nobody's safe. Okay. There, so that's ready now. Mix that in. That's ready now to go in the oven and it'll be there for about 30 minutes, but it's worth checking after about 20 just to see how it's doing. So the cake's out of the oven. It had 25 minutes and you can see it's beautifully risen. It's coming a little bit away from the sides of the tin and you can test it just by pressing it lightly and it should spring back, just like any cake actually. So what I might do is put a little bit of glacé icing on that later, only if I feel like it. And you make glacé icing by mixing together icing sugar and water. So that was my recipe for vegan chocolate cake. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. If you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe and I'd love to hear your comments. Nice ones please. Bye bye.